Testing 1, 2, 3. Testing. Testing 1, 2, 3. Hello, everyone. Good morning, good evening, and good afternoon. Hello, yeah, welcome to my live stream again. It's been a while. Yep, so I just finished my Final Fantasy 7 Remake game and it was really fun. I managed to finish it like for 2 consecutive days. So now I'm really hyped to draw some Final Fantasy artworks, as you can see. And by the way, I'm live streaming on uh, Instagram, Twitch, YouTube, and Twitter. So if I plan not to interrupt my stream by restarting my Instagram stream every 1 hour. So after this hour, some of you, if you're watching from Instagram, you can actually move on to Twitch or YouTube or Twitter, up to you. Yeah, so I'll continue without restarting the stream on Instagram. It's just I don't really like the interruptions. All right, so if you're watching from Instagram, remember to switch over to YouTube uh, or Twitch or Twitter if you're into Twitter. May not be the best time for me to stream. I think most of you are still playing the game, if you are playing at all. And I've decided to to finish up Aerith first, and then I'll go on to Tifa, and then eventually Cloud. And I'm planning to draw Jessie as well because I really love her. I didn't know I like her so much 23 years ago, but with this new remake, I really love her. Alright, so remind everyone, those of you who watch from Instagram, I will stop after 1 hour, and then I'll move on to. You can continue watching it from YouTube or Twitch, wherever you prefer. Because Instagram only allowed me to stream for 1 hour. And try not to utter out any spoilers for the sake of those who have not played the game. Hope you guys are doing well and stay at home and be nice. If you want to, you can also draw alongside with me, just for fun. Someone asks, what do I do if I mess up with the ink? Then too bad, I need to redo. I hope not. Usually I don't. That's why I always start with the eyes first. If I screw up with the eyes, then that's it. There's no point continuing. I mean, I would love to play some Final Fantasy music while I'm drawing, but I don't think it goes well with the copyright issues for the video. So if you like to, you can play your own music. How long was my gameplay? I think I spent about 20-ish hours. I just played the easy mode because I didn't know if I even have time to finish the game in easy mode, but eventually I did. I mean, we play with a normal mode down the road, but to me, I just wanted to finish the stories and just appreciate all the visuals and yeah, the cutscenes. To be honest, it's really hard for me to have time to spend on a game from start to finish. Sorry if I miss any of your comment and messages. There's really a lot coming in, so I may not be able to look at every single one. Someone asked, do I use ruler or when I sketch? No, usually I don't use rulers. If there's a long straight lines, maybe I will. Yeah, but usually I don't. What pen is that? This is the Copic Gasenfude brush pen. It's one of my favorite pen for drawing. Unfortunately, this is not refillable, so once it runs out of ink, you have to buy a new one. Good day, everyone. For those who just joined in, welcome to my live stream. And I'm drawing Final Fantasy, obviously. Do you ever do digital art? Ah, you must be new to my work. Yes, I'm a digital artist. So traditional art is just something that I do for fun. So if you're interested to know more about my art, you can just go to artgem.com. You can see a big collection of my digital work and traditional as well. Do I draw it first in pencil? Yes, of course. Any good books on how to color from gray tone? I don't think so. This is something that I figured myself based on my digital knowledge. So I don't think there's any book that shows you how to color from uh, grayscale. But I do have a YouTube video uh, that taught you how to colorize a grayscale image digitally. So you may want to consider looking at it. It's on my YouTube channel. Don't you have any tutorials? Yes, I have many recorded videos of how I draw and talk about my techniques like what I'm doing now. So on my YouTube channel, so you can watch them. Yeah, the pen that I'm using is called Cockpit Gassen Fude brush pen, spelled as Gasenfude, Gassen Fude brush pen. Any tips on drawing hair? Well, there's a few things we will look out for when it comes to drawing hair. Uh, first is the thickness of the hair. Some hairs are thicker. I mean, individual strands of hair is thicker, so they tend to stand up a lot more. Uh, Thinner one will be affected by gravity a lot earlier. Uh, you also need to understand how the hairstyle is being put together, which part is a front fringe, which part is combed back. For example, for Aerith, she has the two big front fringe, and then the rest of the hair is being tied up at the back like a ponytail, and then she will have two extra chunk of hair coming downward, which I'm drawing now. So you need to first understand how the hairstyle is in order to draw it correctly. Um, After that, you can consider the hair spines. Well, the hair spines basically it means the key lines that represent the hair. So draw those key lines. What are the key lines? For example, this line, this line, this line. So these two lines are the key lines. So once these like keyframe animations, you draw the keyframe of the animations, and then you draw the in between. So you draw the key lines, and then you, for example, a line from here to here. Then you can start to draw the in between that connect these two strokes. You can keep adding extra key lines or so-called keyframes or hair spines as much as you can. The more you add it, the more complicated it will be. But you always start with something simple structure to begin with, and then increase the complexity as you get more comfortable with drawing complicated hairstyles. And usually hair will flow a lot more randomly at the tail end because it's lighter in weight. The top part of the hair usually conform to the shape a lot better, but come to the ending part of it, it start to flare out and start to go a bit more random because it's lighter. What pencil to use? I use what I call the clutch pencils. That means the pencil that come with a. This is the pencil that I use. It's just a. Yeah, so it's a clutch pencil with a 2mm lead inside. It can be any brand. It doesn't matter really. I had this brass one because I'm just into brass stationaries. I mean, you can use simpler one like what I have here. This is also the same thing. Again, it's a clutch pencil. Yeah, I like not so sharp pencils so that my stroke can be a bit more flowy without committing to a very precise line. So that later on during my inking stage, I can refine them or make some decision to change up the lines. If the lines are too sharp, then eventually it create a lot more details, and I try to stick with it too closely. Yeah, this black inking pen is a brush tip, so you can get really brushy if you move it fast. You can see very strong brush stroke, which I really like. A lot more organic. Yeah. So when I start inking, usually I'll start with this brush pen to block out the shapes. And then later on, I will go with a bigger brush for the big black areas. And then use micron pens, or so-called how do we call that? You know, those liner, fine liner, for me to do some fine lines. Do I stream digital drawing? In the past, I did. I stream a lot of digital art of mine. Again, you can find those recordings in my YouTube channels. Do I use a reference? Yeah, everyone use reference. Otherwise, we can't draw anything. Yeah. But for this particular piece, I didn't really reference much on the pose. Of course, I have to reference a bit of the face and the reference a bit of the hairstyle and the costume. That's a given. I don't think I can remember the design of her. But other than that, not much. For digital drawing, I may reference a bit more, especially for those with a more complicated design and complicated pose. There's always a partial reference. Yeah. Thank you, everyone. Remember, if you just come in from Instagram, I will be stopping the Instagram stream after 1 hour of limit from Instagram, and then you can carry on watching it from Twitch or YouTube of the same stream. So in case it stops suddenly, you know what to do. Or you can switch over now if you like. My YouTube channel is Ajam. I'm Ajam everywhere. On all across all social media, everywhere. So it's always Ajam. Unless someone try to impersonate me, then maybe you'll find somebody else. I think people are stupid enough to use such a stupid name. Any tips on improving the brush technique? Honestly, it's just a matter of practice. There's no trick to it. Find someone that you like uh, in terms of the brush style. Many artists use a brush like mine to draw, so you can find someone that you like a certain approach of how they use the brush pen and try to just learn from them by imitating what they draw. Get to understand their decision making in their drawing. Have I drawn JoJo? Yes, many JoJo, more than I wanted to. There are many JoJo fans in my classes, so many of my students are into JoJo. to make them happy, I draw a lot of JoJo. And nowadays, being a teacher is not easy. You can't just expect them to learn from you. You have to convince them you're worth learning from. So you have to get into their fandoms, things that they like, in order to convince them I'm worth learning from. Hi, Cameron Hewitt. Nice to see you. Yeah, I always see you on Facebook. So now I'm using a bigger brush pen. This brush pen is from Pentel. They call it the Pentel Art Brush. This one is refillable, so once you run out of ink, you can change the cartridge at the back, pop a new one in, and you're good to go. Usually draw woman characters. How to draw man characters? Hey, I drew a man, you know? Hey, see? It is a man. Well, debatable, but mostly men. Yeah. I draw a lot of male characters as well. If you're new to my art, you may not see it. Yeah. And check out my comic works, my Street Fighters work. I drew lots of men. Yeah. And some furries too. Just for your info. Not that I want to remember. Yeah, so for those of you who is wondering whether I have drawn your favorite character, feel free to just Google it by searching Arjun followed by the artist of the correct character name that you want to look for. So it's like Arjun, Jotaro, Arjun, Feast of North Star, Arjun, Cloud, Arjun, Sephiroth, whatever. I'm sure you can find something because I've drawn a lot, really, a lot. I'm so glad you're doing her first, really. Yeah. I realize that many people don't like Aerith. At least the way I observe when I go for convention, when I sell prints of her. People are more into Tifa, yeah, rather than Aerith. But I must say that this remake really make me love Aerith a lot more. It's, she's now much more believable. I mean, because of the quality, the details and stuff, and how she talked with her voice. For Tifa, I thought they somehow downsized her chest areas, but after playing the game, not true. It's still pretty much the old Tifa that I know and love. Yu-Gi-Oh! I'm never into Yu-Gi-Oh! So I have not joined any Yu-Gi-Oh! On top of that, I have no idea how to figure out Yu-Gi-Oh's hair, how to make it realistic and believable. Do I play game in English? I play Final Fantasy in English. I don't speak Japanese. I wish I can. I don't. I would love to see just some of the Castlevania character. I did. Just Google it. Which character has been my favorite to draw so far? Mm, if you talk about Japanese kind of characters, maybe I mean Tifa for one, Chun-Li, Morrigan from Darkstalker. Yeah, pretty much that. For superheroes, maybe Supergirl, Catwoman, Poison Ivy, Harley Quinn. Yeah, the usual ones. Might be interested in joining Half-Life characters. At this point, not really. I mean, I like the game. I'm still playing Alex, but I don't think I have like special love for the characters in Half-Life though. I think usually for the first person kind of a game, like Half-Life, it's really hard to build my emotional connection with the characters because you don't really see them. You only see yourself. Hey, Eric. Yeah, by the way, the Instagram live may be ending soon. So for those of you who want to continue watching my stream, you can move on to YouTube or Twitch. For YouTube, just Google YouTube at Germ. For Twitch, just Google at Germ Twitch. Simple. Have I played the game? Yes, yes, I've finished the game. What do I do when I make a mistake? Learn from it and make sure next time I don't. Yeah, for traditional, it's hard to edit it because there's no undo. Stanley, are you still actively trying to improve your art? I hope I am. I'm still constantly inspired by different kind of work from different artists, so definitely I'm going to get inspired to try something new every now and then. Mm. I must say that the most frequently asked question from all of my stream since the beginning of time until now is the question of what brush do you use, followed by what software do you use, what version of Photoshop do you use, what Wacom tablet do you use. Mm. So if someone saw that question from other people here, feel free to answer on my behalf. Yeah, yeah, maybe I should put a Q&A or so-called FAQ. Mm, I should. How to improve your art in general? Yeah, I always share that on my live stream that there's always this formula I go to. The idea of understand the theory of how things work, and then you observe reality to confirm the theory is right, and then apply it to your work and practice over and over again until you internalize the theory. So when you do photo study, yes, it's useful, but you need to know what are you studying from. Many times when people do photo study, they are more concerned about make the artwork look like the reference rather than learning from what you observe from the reference. For example, how does the skin color change in different lighting setup? How do you convey wetness of the skin? What are some of the subtle changes of the colors on different part of the skins? Uh, how do you set up different kind of lighting in different situations? Those are something that you should observe when you are doing photo study. So it's not just about try to replicate the reference, but understand the reference and what are you trying to learn from it. I think that's far more important. Yeah, by the way, the Instagram may be ending soon. Remember to switch over to Twitch or YouTube to continue this, to watching this. Yeah. I think she looks quite alright. Got any tips on how to get good at perspective drawing? Learn photography. I think that's pretty important. Learn photography and learn the idea of different camera lens, because you always need to remember that when you draw a perspective drawing, you don't look at the artwork from your eyes. You look at the piece of artwork, or you draw the piece of artwork from a camera lens. That's why you can have wide angle lens, fisheye lens, telephoto lens effect when you draw environment, or any kind of artwork. And those things you can't really achieve by just using your eyes. You have to look at it through a camera lens. So knowing photography will help you a lot in understanding those. For me, I always carry a camera with me no matter where I go. Even if you don't have a proper camera, well, your phone camera is pretty proper these days. So you can still learn a bit from that. Although the phone camera does not allow a lot of focal length change. Some do, some camera do. If you have multiple lens phone camera, so it's still good to use that to learn the idea of perspective. How do you learn to master drawing figures in perspective with whatever angle you like to draw from? Again, it's all these are really purely muscle memory. You have to get used to drawing characters from different angles, especially those angles you don't usually see, like low angle, high angle, low back angle, high back angle. Those are angles that you may see, but you don't really pay attention and observe it. So if you find that problem with drawing those angles, you really just need to grind that through. There's really no shortcut to that. I wish there is, but there isn't. Alright, I think she looks quite alright. So the extra multi-liner that I'm using now to increase the fidelity of the image. What ink brush that work best with Copic? I think both of the brushes that I'm using um, are really, really good. I mean, when you copy over it, it does not smudge or smear. So just test them out. I think usually those pen that come with indent ink or permanent ink, it will sit well with Copic. Best brand of graphic tablet, whatever brand that suits your budget. For me, I only use Wacom tablets. I'm using a Wacom Intuos 6 or Intuos Pro, medium-sized tablet. So that has been my go-to brand. Of course, nowadays there are many more options that you have, and some are much cheaper that fits your budget much better. So, but for me, I will still pretty much go back to Wacom. So now I'm using a gray brush pen. It's from Pentel as well. It's called uh, um, Pentel Up Brush. That's right. It's the same as the black version of it, but this one is with the gray ink. It's also refillable. What about iPad Pro? Yes, I love iPad Pro. If you like to draw on the go, or like go to the cafe and draw and chill, or you're more mobile kind of artist, definitely iPad Pro is an amazing piece of gear. And bundle it with Procreate, it's hard to beat. I use my iPad Pro mostly during traveling times and go overseas for conventions. Yeah, I'll draw with my iPad Pro sometimes on the plane. If the stream suddenly stop on Instagram, you can continue watching it on Twitch, Twitter, or YouTube. Your choice. I'm going to take a break soon. Someone from Twitch is asking, Warner, you say, hi Ajam, I've recently joined an indie game studio and I'm responsible for some monster artworks or maybe more, that there may be more to draw. Do you think it's worth trying for young artists? Of course. I mean, getting your foot into a game studio is already a good step. So from there, just go in with a learning heart and try to do well in whatever project they assigned to you, and to prove your worth to the company so that they can give you more interesting job down the road. Nobody will employ a young junior artist and become the lead character artist in the game studio. It takes time to build the trust and show people what you're capable of. You want to see the full process. Yeah, the full process should be recorded. Sorry, I only speak English. If you type in other languages, I may not understand. English or Chinese, actually. Have you ever tried 3D sculpting software? In the past, I did a little bit of that with 3D Max, 3D Studio Max. It's a long time ago. But I have not tried any actual sculpting software like ZBrush. Although in my school we teach ZBrush to students, personally I don't use them. I wish I can. feel like I may be opening a new can of worm. So, hello, Valerie. Oh, thank you for loving me. I would love this beautiful area. I would love this usual Jesse too. Yes, I'm good. I'm down for Jesse as well. Maybe after I finish these pieces. Remember, you can continue to watch my stream if Instagram stream suddenly stop. You can find my stream on YouTube, Twitch, or even Twitter. But I think Twitch and YouTube may be a better choice. Wow, fan from Saudi Arabia. Hello, welcome. Someone from YouTube, William from YouTube, say I have perfectionist trait which I felt it now being blocked to my artist development. Is there a way to manage this? Uh, Sometimes I hesitate so much to continue the artwork. Yes, if you're some kind of perfectionist, and depends on how do you define perfection? If you define perfection like some of the high level artists that you see on social media or that you follow on social media, and worse, you combine many of them into one artist. That means everyone that you follow on social media become one artist that you try to get as good as, you will fail. I will fail. Everyone will fail because it's just too much. So what you need to know is that what do you want to focus on? What's your strength? What's your preferences? Uh, what kind of artist you would like to be known as? And try to streamline your uh, learning process. You cannot master everything at the same time, so you have to pick your battle. It's nothing wrong to be a perfectionist, but it's really hard on yourself. You want to set yourself up for something that you can never accomplish. For example, as good as everyone, like as good as every artist that you follow on social media. If you have that kind of goal, it's pretty unrealistic, isn't it? That's not being perfectionist, That's being silly. I mean, take Final Fantasy for example. Every time you level up, you earn some credit for you to deposit into different skill sets. Sometimes you want to increase your magic damage. Sometimes you want to increase your physical damage. You may increase your spell. Whatever it is, you can only choose one with limited resources that you have. Then you have to pick and choose which one you want to invest in. At this point of time, what do you need most? Right? So same thing for learning. You can't just learn everything at the same time. You have to choose. How many years have I been drawing? I've been drawing for 30 over years. 30 years? Yeah. I'm an old dude. What's the name of this character? This is Aerith from Final Fantasy 7. A fan from Kuwait. Wow, welcome. I hope you guys are doing okay over there. Mm. With the COVID situation, I mean. Mm. Have I thought about persona character for sketches? I've drawn a lot of persona and some persona sketches as well. Uh, I think I drew N traditionally before. Even Makoto. Is it Makoto or Mokoto? Yeah. Yeah, again, you can Google them. Am I using ink or watercolor? I think it's considered ink. It's an inking pen. It's a gray ink pen. You can also see there's watercolor. Yeah, it's pretty watery, but it's still an inking pen, a gray ink pen. Okay, so with the gray, it will help me define the character a lot better with some extra info on lighting and volume. So when after this, when I overlay um, copy on top of it, it will feel pretty much like a grayscale painting with and add colors to it, mm. Like colorize from grayscale kind of approach. Something I like to do for conventions. Yeah. It's much easier to develop or to build up the tones with relatively simpler steps. こんばんは。